It is Junkanoo 242. You are in the V Shack this morning. Good morning to all of our family of islands. Everybody that's tuning to us on Facebook. And even if you're tuned in via the radio, got the TV on, probably watching us too. Good morning to everybody that's out there. We are up. It's another episode of Junkanoo 242. Good morning, Ronald. Everybody leave us in the shack, man. How you doing this morning?
Well, we just got to hold it down, man. We can do that. Not
Man,
really.
you know when they don't show up, the work still could go on. That ain't no problem.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
How has your week been, Ronald?
It's been a busy week. It's been a busy week, between here at the station and getting ready for the independence celebrations and Junkanoo Summer Festival kicking up this afternoon. Yep, quite
This is
busy.
this is good. This is good. Well, folks, you heard it. We got another Power Pack show lined up for you guys this morning. We're going to be talking independence. We're going to be talking Junkanoo. We have a special guest in the house and all. So what we're going to do is get started with our prayer, and then we'll dive into the show. Heavenly Father, for the gift of life, we give you thanks. For our nation, we pray for peace, progress, prosperity, and principle, recovery, and restoration. For ourselves, we pray for wisdom to use your gifts wisely, especially the gift of Junkanoo, so that we may honor you, serve your people, build better communities, and a better Bahamas, and a better world. Amen. Proud to be Bahamian. Proud to be Bahamian. Ronald, what make you proud this week, man?
Well, yesterday, National Pride Day, folks wearing their colors, flags raising all over the country. Yesterday was the first time, I believe, normally on National Pride Day, there's a flag raising downtown Bay Street and maybe on a couple of other islands. But yesterday, the nation was encouraged to raise their flags in their communities, at their businesses, at their homes. That must have been a wonderful thing to see and experience yesterday. All around the country, flags going up and people singing the national anthem at their place of work, residence, whatever.
Yeah, I saw, I think, even you guys at the Broadcasting Corporation, I saw you guys had everything lit up. And it's just phenomenal to see that, we are showing that we're proud and we love this country, as we move closer and closer to independence. And we just need to, continue that effort up and show it year round. And we'll be surprised at how many other things we're able to, get done in this country. And just let that pride just show through all of us. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, as our custom, we're going to run to our first break. Once we get back from the break, what we're going to be doing is I got two things. I'm going to be introducing my guests, but at the same time, I'm going to be putting the names in the hat for the Independence Junkanoo Parade that's going to be coming up. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're tuning in to Junkanoo 242.
What you hear on this radio station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.vs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722, or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Reset the sign. When vehicles without an accessible parking permit use a parking space designated for persons with disabilities, even for just a minute, That's 60 seconds too long. The abuse of accessible parking spaces is a daily frustration for persons with disabilities. It is inconsiderate, insensitive, and hinders persons with disabilities from effectively conducting business and actively participating in community life. Never park in a space reserved for people with disabilities unless you have a permit to do so. It is the right and respectful thing to do. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, a unit in the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development. For more information, visit www.disabilitiescommissionbahamas.org.
From the Junkanoo archives on the Junkanoo timeline, the year was 2003. The JDA introduced the prestigious Junkanoo Independent Achievement Awards to honor Junkanoo icons, past and present. Another significant notch on the Junkanoo timeline. Welcome back, folks. The whistle broke and we're all lined up and ready for this segment of the show, the rollover. This morning we are in our independent spirit. We got 8 days before the big day. Lots of exciting events happening between now and July 10. Not the least of which is the People's Rush. Oh, this is scheduled for 2:01 a.m. on the morning of July the 11th. And our very special guest is from the JDA, the organizing committee for this, the Junkanoo Development Association. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Les. How you doing this morning? You're still muted. I need you to unmute.
Good morning again. Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Junkanoo 242. And special good morning to Barefoot, the hardest working man in show business.
Well, let's get it started. Before we go any further, everybody want to know what number they coming out, July 11th. So let's start this off. We're going to start with...
Hold on a second. We can do that. Let's leave the excitement, leave the part.
Listen, Les, don't let me forget this. These people have been calling me already.
No. We ain't going to forget that.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's do that. So, Les, let's dive into it, man. You're no stranger to the show, and if anybody's been listening for some time, they are familiar with the Junkanoo Development Association. And we want to know, tell us, how has the plans been going for that, event that you guys have coming up?
Well, the plans have been going great. We are always work in conjunction with the National Independent Secretariat. This year, we are coming out of the COVID pandemic. Now, we haven't had a People's Rush for 2 years. So the circumstances has changed this year where the numbers of positive cases and hospitalization due to COVID has been reduced tremendously. So, the protocols, we still have health protocols in place where the Ministry of Health still wants us to follow certain health protocols for the event. And fortunately and thankfully, we have been given the green light to host this event by the Ministry of Health. So that's the good part.
Yes.
And also, we know that because of missing the parade the past 2 years, there's pent up anticipation, there's pent up energy, there's pent up dreams of getting back on bay, especially the time that the People's Rush is usually held. This year, we are starting, because Independence fought on a Sunday. The rush will be starting, well, first the Junkanoo Achievement Awards is going to start at 12 midnight on the 11th of July. And before the ceremony, we're going to hold an in memoriam where we're going to display the names and the pictures of all Junkanooers who passed over the past 2 years at the beginning of the event. So all Junkanooers groups who sent in There are members who passed during the past 2 years. Those will be on display on a big screen in Rawson Square before the official ceremony starts. And then the rush is going to start at 1 a.m. from the corner of East Street and Bay Street. And we will head west down to Navy Lion Road.
Okay. So that's you know that's the starting point for a lot of stuff. Question. I want to dive in the ceremony. What happens at that ceremony that you guys have before the Raj? What's that all about?
Well, the Junkanoo Independence Junkanoo Achievement Award was started in the year 2003 by the Junkanoo Development Association. The purpose of the award was to recognize and honor outstanding Junkanooers and persons in the community who have made invaluable contribution to the growth and development of Junkanoo. Before 2003, nobody had ever, people might have thought of doing it, but nobody did it. So the Junkanoo, right, brought it to fruition. So the Junkanoo Development Association in 2003, we held our first Independence Junkanoo Achievement Awards. And since that time, we have honored more than 100 persons. That inclusive of sponsors who, without the sponsors, Junkanooers know that it would be hard for groups to come to Bay. So we are proud of what we have done over the past, that's almost 20 years of honoring persons. Because of the pandemic in 2020, we are not able to have an award ceremony. And also in 2021, we was able to have the awards, and we did the persons for 2020 and the persons for 2021. So now this year, we wasn't able to go in Rawson Square for the 20 and the 21 honorees. But this year, we are back in Rawson Square under the moonlight. Those persons who have been chosen this year to be honored will be getting their aquamarine jacket and their Junkanoo Independence pendant.
Okay, so this is going well, man. I mean, just honoring people. My next question is, why would you guys say, why did you guys feel it fitting to actually bring this to fruition? Like you said, probably people have probably been talking about it. They've probably been happening in various different silos, people getting awards for what they've done in Junkanoo. Why did you guys feel like this was important to actually do, to formalize this?
Well, first and foremost, there were a lot of persons who've made contributions to Junkanoo over the years who was never recognized. I think they used to have a little honoring ceremony for certain individuals. And we thought it was fitting that at Independence, especially because Junkanoo basically is the heartbeat of the Bahamian culture. I mean, if you want to find out if a child is a really Bahamian, just start beating the ghost kid drum the minute they come out of this door. So you will know if that child is a Bahamian. So we decided that, and when the proposal came to the table, it was a unanimous decision to vote to go that route. So the thing we had to sort out was how are we going to do it, and which way we're going to recognize these persons. So we decided that we would give them a jacket, a distinctive aquamarine jacket, and a pendant. The first set of honorees, we went back, I think, far as the 40s, I think, to bring people forward, and also to get people to the younger generation, and even some who been participating in Junkanoo for many years. Some of the persons are not publicly known, well known as some other names. So that was one of the main reasons we decided to do it, because Junkanoo, there's lots of persons who make contribution behind the scenes. They don't want no public recognition. They have persons who do things in the shop, who donate money, who give their time, their effort, their property for Junkanooers to use. So we said that we need to recognize these people And some of them don't even want no recognition. You know, they stay in the limelight. Some don't even come to Bay to see Junkanoo. You know, some don't even come to Bay to see Junkanoo, but
Les,
they do their part behind the scenes.
Les, did you when you started this award program 19 years ago, thereabouts now, 19, 20 years ago? I'm sure you just saw it as a way of rewarding those people who were in it for a while. But did you ever imagine that this ceremony would become part and parcel of the national celebration of the country?
No, we never. To be honest, we was hoping it would, but we never thought that it would become that. And even going back to the People's Rush, you know, we organized the People's Rush in a few weeks' time, the first time. You know, when we decided that that's what we wanted to do, we went to the then Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, who in the year 2000 was Mr. David Thompson at the time.
Mhm.
And we told him what we wanted to do, and he didn't think that we might have been able to pull it off. And he said, well,
And so now, and some other people didn't think you had the right to pull it off.
exactly. Yeah. And some other persons tried to put up a big roadblock in our way. But of course, you know, we are a group of determined persons, and we pushed through. And the first rush was really the one that always sticks in my mind, because we wasn't sure what the turnout was going to be that morning. We didn't start at East Street and Bay Street. The first rush started from way by the bridge, by Malcolm Park. And we met in Michael Foster's office at the time, early that morning. He was the first chairman of the Junkanoo Development Association, Mr. Michael Foster. And we thought it was only going to be us from the JDA who was going to be there on the park that morning, because there was a lot of pushback from certain quarters of the Junkanoo community about us believing that we have this right to organize a rush on independence. Keeping in mind that only in my recollection from a boy, there was only a few times that I could remember that Junkanoo was part of the independence celebration. So it wasn't, and even when they did it, it wasn't where everybody who wanted to participate could have participated in it. So that was one of our main objectives, to get persons, even who don't take part in Junkanoo, who just wanted to come and celebrate our country's independence. You know, July 10th is a very significant day for the Bahamas. That is the day that we went from being subjects of Great Britain to being citizens of the new Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And we also wanted it to be an educational tool for younger people to understand and to recognize this day, July 10th, and the meaning behind it as to why we celebrate. We ain't just celebrating because we're going to be in the road making noise and dancing and doing our thing. We celebrating because the significance of it is that July 10, 1973 made us citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, not longer subjects of Great Britain. You know, some people who have passports from the 50s and 60s, if they look in their passport of their grandmother, they'll see British subjects in some of those passports. That's how we were recognized back then. But July 10, everything changed. We was able to get our own passport. We got our own flag, our coat of arms, our Pledge of Allegiance, and we was on our way. 49 years later, we still going strong. We still trying to build our country the way that we want it to be built. And we just need everybody to participate and to be a part to making this the not just best little country in the world, but the best country in the world. You know, and it takes all of us to do it.
When you look back on the moment of that first People's Rush and the massive turnout that no one was expecting, were you ever able to match that number again?
I think the third one or the second, or I think it was the third one was, I mean, the crowd was massive. I think it was the third one or the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we first moved to East Street and Bay Street, the crowd was really a huge crowd. But over the years, we've had big crowds. We've had big, massive crowds. And I think this year is probably going to be the biggest one because
I agree. I agree. I think
this
it's
is
all
the
over
biggest
the
thing
top this year.
coming out of the lockdowns, coming out of all the COVID restrictions, just people just wanting to feel like they're free again. I think it's going to be, this one probably is going to be the biggest one ever. So we're looking forward to it. And of course, we need a simple requirement that flag colors, things that represent the Bahamas, and of course, best behavior from everybody, participants and spectators. That's all that we require. Because the members from the Royal Bahamas Police Force who have been with us from day one, they're going to be there providing security, and they too want to celebrate independence, even though they're working. They don't want to be locked up nobody or having the right no statement, take no statement from nobody. So we're just asking everybody who's going to participate, who's going to come down the Bay Street to be on their best behavior. Fly colors, the aquamarine, gold and black. We want the people on the space station, when they looking down on Earth, all they're going to see is this bunch of aquamarine, gold and black, glittering in the night sky down on Earth. So that's going to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Bay Street, starting from 12 midnight, July 11th.
And we want the people coming out to please observe the protocols that are still in place for COVID, particularly the mask wearing and whatnot.
Right, because yes, also because of the compactness of the crowds, we still require persons to wear their masks because COVID isn't over. There's still people are still getting COVID in the country. So the Ministry of Health has asked us to continue to follow the health protocols. We're going to be giving out masks and hand sanitizers out there for persons who, for some whatever reason, decide or forget to leave their masks and hand sanitizers home. We're going to be giving out those things down there at the parade site.
So, Les, would you say that one of the initiatives with putting this all together is to give the opportunity or to provide an opportunity for the masses to take place in the celebration of independence through this whole ceremony and rush?
Yes, because before we started the People's Rush, the only thing that really used to happen on independence, where the people used to participate in really in big numbers, was going out to Clifford Park to see the cultural show, the ecumenical service, the cultural show, and the march past and inspection of the guard by the Governor General. And so if you didn't get an invitation to go to Government House for the state reception, then there's really nothing what the masses came together to do at independence. Unlike certain other countries where they have cookouts and fireworks, parades and all that stuff, right? So that was the main reason for us starting this up, so that the average person, anybody basically, from the Prime Minister right down, could come and take part in a celebratory rush. It's not a competition rush. We didn't want it to be a competition rush because we want everybody to be on one page celebrating our independence.
For you yourself, being a part of this JDA, how have you seen, the growth of it in terms of people looking forward to this event, and even speak to a lot of the younger people who actually, quote unquote, grew up with this event happening? They don't know independence without this rush.
I could use an example. My daughter was born in October 2000. So she only know the independence rush, People's Love and Unity rush at independence. She don't know about before that. All she knows that the rush, we have a rush out on Independence morning. She wasn't around before 2000. So that's a good example. And what amazes me over the years is the amount of young people that participate in the rush. And like I said, we just don't want them to think it as a rush. We want them to also reflect on what the day actually means to us as a people and to our country. Like I said, this is the day that we went from being subjects of Great Britain to citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, for all those who qualify based on the independence order that we got, that came into force in 1973, that has our constitution in it. So residents alike, persons who live here in the Bahamas, visitors, Everybody's invited to participate in the celebration on Bay Street through the People's Love and Unity Run. That's why we named it the People's Love and Unity Run, because it's all about the people of the Bahamas, or people who are in the Bahamas on that during that period of time. It's all about loving one another, loving our country, and helping to steer our country and our people in the right direction.
Great, great. And it's such a good job that you guys made. It's such a big deal. So, as you're growing up with it, as you're seeing it happening every year, you can't just say, oh, it's just an event. It's something that makes you stop and think, and you probably want to research, why is this thing so important? I like going downtown and rushing, but now, okay, on Independence Day, I get to participate in it, and that's a good move on you guys doing that. Um, One of the things I want to speak to, or I want you to speak to, is that what do you see this does for like the energy and the morale for people from all walks of life, all different ages, coming out and assembling on Bay Street during this time? What do you see that do for them?
Well, first and foremost, I put this part in. During independence, and because of the People's Rush, there's tremendous economic activity that takes place. Persons who buy a t-shirt, people are selling Junkanoo tricks, people are selling flags, vendors who selling food items and drinks. So we've created a whole new economic stimulus for a whole bunch of people from 2000, because, if you really reflect back, there wasn't really that much flag color wearing, during some of the past
independence. Because you just used to go to the tattoo and then you go home.
And you go home. So since we started the People's Rush, all of the groups need t-shirts. The participants need stuff that they want to do their little costumes and stuff like that. So we've created a big economic stimulus in the middle of the year, which was usually what it wouldn't have happened. So that's another thing. When we first started, the JDA started selling t-shirts. We started out selling t-shirts. Then we said, tell you what, we ain't in this to make no money for ourselves. So we say we allow the entrepreneurs who does that thing, or who want to do that, to sell the t-shirts for whatever, for independent. So if you notice now, a whole lot of people selling t-shirts, different styles, different. Only thing we need to try to get the fly color right. That's my only. We need to try to get the fly color right when the items are going to be sold. Even so, some of the flags that even the government put up, you can see the different shades, different colors. Okay. So that's one thing we need to try to get right.
All right, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna run to the break, and when we get back on the next side of the break, we're gonna dig into the honorees. How do you become an honoree? Some of the things, some of the people that's been honored in the past. Folks, you're tuned into the Junkanoo 242. We're coming in live from the B Shot. We got Independence Junkanoo as the topic today. You're gonna find out what number your group coming out on July the 11th. We'll be right back.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Blood Bank is in urgent need of blood donations of all types. Blood bank hours of operation are as follows. Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The last donor will be accepted at 4:30 p.m. On Sundays, the blood bank is closed. Identification needed for donation include your NIB card or driver's license. Do not attempt to donate if you are sick or experiencing respiratory symptoms. Do not come to the blood bank in large groups, as we will be accommodating 3 persons at a time. For more information on how you can become a blood donor or instructions on what to do before coming to donate blood, please contact the blood bank at 502-7822.
The Bahamas is celebrating its 49th birthday, and the ZNS Network wants you to be a part of it. Send us a short WhatsApp video from wherever you are in the Bahamas or in the world, wishing the Bahamas a happy independence. Be sure to say your name and where you are hailing from. This is our country. Be a part of the celebrations. The number to message is 422-6827. See yourself and your family on TV during our Independence broadcasts all next week. Send your videos and photos to 422-6827. Tell us who you are and where you are as you wish us a happy independence. The ZNS Network, your home for the 49th anniversary of independence.
From the Junkanoo Library, filed under I for Independence. Bahamians under the age of 20 years do not remember a time when there was no Junkanoo parade on Bay Street to celebrate Independence Day. Today, the People's Love and Unity Rush is an exciting feature on the Independence calendar each year. Let us resolve to celebrate our independence in our unique way, in our flag colors, on the People's Rush, our Junkanoo. We're so proud of it. Welcome back to Junkanoo 242, the whistle blowing. We're all lined up. It's time for the first lap. We are pleased to have our special guest in the person of Mr. Les Robinson. And we're talking independence and the independence, People's Love and Unity Rush. If you would like to call us, you can give us a call at 325-5404. And from our family of islands, 1-242-300-8255. We're going to jump back into this conversation. Les, before we left, I wanted to dive into in this segment how our honorees, actually picked. And also wanted to know, are you at liberty to share the names with us of this year's honorees?
Yes, yes to both of those questions. The honorees are picked by, first and foremost, you need to have been participating in Junkanoo for like 25 years.
Okay.
Of good character. Also, you don't have to rush with a particular group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have to be a member of a group. You could have already retired from participating in Junkanoo. You no longer participate, but you made a contribution. So we have had persons from all of those categories who we have honored over the years. And like I also said, we've also honored sponsors, going way back, sponsors who helped cause groups to get to Bay Street. We've honored sponsors also. So the way how we do the honoring, we ask for nominations from the public.
Okay.
And one of the problems that we have every year is that people will see you in person and they will tell you a person name or ask you, how come you all ain't honor this person?
Mm-hmm.
And the first question that members of the JDA will ask them, did you nominate them? See, because we don't know everybody who participated in Junkanoo. We don't know the contributions of everybody who participated in Junkanoo. We've even said over the years, and we continue to say it, that you could nominate yourself. Nobody knows your contribution better than you. You or your parent, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, you could nominate them yourself. Because no longer than every day, especially as it gets closer to independence,
Mm-hmm.
people will see or see other members of the JDA and they will give them this name. Oh, y'all ain't honor this person yet. But you send in the names. We provide the email address to send the names in every year. And unfortunately, we get only a handful of persons every year, a small number of persons every year that some people take the time out to send it. And then when they don't see the person who they want to be honored, some people have these feelings and feel like we are slighting people, or we don't like this person, or we don't like that person. It's none of that takes place. Once you send in the name with a bio of the person, we try our best to verify the information that's in the bio, and we place your name on a list. We have a long list of persons. Place your name on the list. You know, we have a list of persons. We
Wow.
place your name on the list, and every year we have a voting process. We have like a 5-stage voting process. We start off the voting with all the names. Once you're on the list, current people who we got for that particular year, and the first round, who get the highest votes come out of the first round. The second round, who get the highest, those people come out on the list till we reach to the final round, and then we choose 5 persons from the final round. And
Man, this sounds very intense, man.
Yeah, it really does be intense sometimes with the persons who are voting, you know, because some persons, unfortunately or fortunately, some persons have the same almost characteristics in their bio and everything. So it comes down to what gives this one person the edge for this year. And that's how it goes. There may be some intense back and forth conversations on during the vote. And that's what makes it so special. You know, even though we have some persons in the JDA who are members of certain groups,
yes,
some of them, they go to bat for everybody, not just persons who are part of their group. They go to bat for everybody who they feel deserving to be honored in that particular year. And that's the beauty of it all. The votes are not secret either. We don't have secret votes.
Oh man,
no, we don't have secret votes.
That means you got to be able to back why you vote a particular way.
Why you vote in a particular way and put the case forward strong for the person. It's similar like how they do in other places, Major League Baseball, NFL. That's the way we do it. No secret votes.
Yeah, it's pretty good that you guys are able to sit around. When I say you guys, you know, the board of the JDA, who has that voting capacity to sit around and put the differences of group affiliation aside. And you know, remember that the biggest thing now is for the development and ordering the people that have done that for Junkanoo.
Yes, and that's what's the whole reason why we started the award ceremony. I mean, to be honest, sometimes one group could probably have all the honorees. You know, sometimes one group could just have all the honorees, but we try to avoid that because, like I said, they have people in different groups who have similar backgrounds. Even those who are not part of groups no more have similar backgrounds. So that is why the honorees is be from a diverse groups and individual category members we honor and all. Because all of them help make Junkanoo what it is today and back then coming forward.
What is your submission deadline, Les?
Well, usually the submission deadline is be May 31st.
May 31.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The submission deadline would be May 31st, usually.
And go over the submission criteria again for those who may have missed it, please.
Well, the criteria is just the person has to be participating in Junkanoo for more than 25 years. They can still be active in Junkanoo. You know, they can still be active because if you've been to participating that long, we want to give people their flowers whilst they're still alive. That's one of the reasons why active participants can still be honored, because we want to give people their roses or flowers whilst they're still alive. Good behavior, and you just have to send a bio in of the things that the person did surrounding Junkanoo. Like I said, you don't have to be a participant. You didn't have to be a participant in Junkanoo. Like I said, we have persons who have allowed groups and individuals to use their yard, their warehouse space for many years, free of charge. So they help make contribution to Junkanoo in that way, even though a lot of people don't know them and know their names.
Yeah.
You know, we have persons who've been sponsoring Junkanoo, either the groups or individuals, to get to be. You send in all that information, we look over it, we put it in the pool when we start the discussions, We have frank discussions. And like I said, we have different rounds of voting. And those who make the final round, those are the ones who, and everybody who did not make it that year, their name is still in the pool because some persons been on the list 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and eventually they've gotten to the final round and they've made the list for that year to be honored, and we have honored those persons. But like I said, the general public, persons who they know, like I said, it could be, you could send in your own bio for yourself, your family members, somebody who you know have done certain things. We put the responsibility on the general public to send the nominations, okay? Because we don't want to say, oh, we just choose this one, we choose that one, we choose the next person. We want you to send in the bios of the person. And if you don't send in the bios for the person that you want to see be on it, or who you feel like should be on it, then that's on you. It's not on us. No longer than Friday, somebody came up to me. How come I ain't get on it yet? You send in your bio?
And where do they send that bio to? Where is that information to be sent?
I can look for the
email address.
Email address. It's a JDA awards at yahoo.com.
JDA awards at yahoo.com.
Right, yeah.
Good.
See, because, you know, in the Bahamas, you know, a lot of us used to doing things by word of mouth. Honor this person do this person do that. So imagine 10 people coming up to you and telling you all of these things, what 10 different people have done, and they want you to keep all that information in your head, you know? And nowadays, it's so easy to dispense information, you know?
You just mentioned that someone came up to you this week asking how come they have not been honored yet. I think that one of the unique features of this award is that you can, in fact, nominate yourself.
Exactly. Because nobody knows your work better than you and know your contribution to Junkanoo better than you do. You see? And all of the members, we've experienced that same thing. Sometimes people call me on the phone. How come you only honor this person? First question for me, did you nominate them? Mm-hmm. If you ain't nominate them, how are you supposed to know? You know? And some people are afraid to put pen to paper. You see? And that's what we're trying to encourage people to do. Because there's a whole lot of people out there who deserve it. And like I said, we don't know because nobody has nominated them.
Yeah.
So we just want to encourage the general public, like I said, this one award where you could nominate yourself. You could put your own bio, even if you can't do it. A lot of the younger people know how to use the computer. You could let somebody just dictate to them your contributions and allow them to just email it to the email address, and we take it from there. But don't sit on the sidelines and gripe when the person that you want to be honored or you think deserving of the honor is not honored in any given year, that we continue to do this.
The ball is in your court. You can do something about it.
Yeah, and like I said, when we first started this awards, I mean, we didn't really anticipate that it would be in this big of thing that a lot of persons was hoping and looking to get. I can remember, like, we hand deliver after we choose the 5 honorees. Yeah. We hand deliver the letter, and of course, you have to accept the nomination. That's one thing too. You have to accept the nomination. So we hand deliver letters to the persons who make the final cut. And over the years, some persons who I've taken letters to have burst out crying. Wow. Because they couldn't believe that, hey, they made the list to be honored in the way that we do it. Big grown man starts crying.
I can relate to that because as a recipient of that award, that is a special moment when you get that call and you get that jacket draped around you. That is an unbelievable moment in the midst of Rawson Square.
Exactly.
The ceremony as a part of the national activities for an independence celebration. that is a moment, man.
And I don't think there's any award ceremony that takes place that time in the morning.
That's true too.
Under the stars. I don't know if any award takes place during that time of the morning. And like you said, I can remember the late Maureen Duvalier. When I took her letter to her, she was on a porch through many streets.
Yeah, yeah.
And the lady started shaking.
Wow.
You know, she started shaking. And from she got that award until she died, every award ceremony that we had, she was present in her jacket out there in Rawson Square, up on the podium. That's how much that meant to her.
Wow.
Also,
that's the impact.
a lot of the older generations, they were overwhelmed when we gave them their letters and told them that they had made the list of the top honorees for that year. They were elated. Some of them even got, who unfortunately passed away, they got buried in their jackets.
Wow.
How much the jackets meant to them and that honor meant to them. And the Junkanoo Development Association, we are proud of what we have done over the past, from the year 2000 to the present. Even though, you know, we have still people throwing darts at us, all that come with the territory, and we don't mind. We have tough skin, okay?
Yeah.
Tough skin. And we like ducks, the water just flow off our backs. But like I say to the general public, if you want your daddy, your mother, your granddaddy to be nominated and to be honored, you send the information to us and we'll take it from there. But don't sit on the sideline and cry, how come my daddy ain't get honored yet? Or this person ain't get honored yet, if you haven't taken it upon yourself to nominate them.
Ronald, you there? I think you walked away from the controls for a minute.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
As you spoke about being a recipient of this jacket, why do you find it so special? Is it where it happened? What does that jacket symbolize and mean, from your standpoint of view?
Just the fact that the people you've spent so much time with, so much energy you've given to, thought it sufficient to say, listen, in a public way, not in the privacy of the shack or in the privacy of the group, but in a public way, and now in a national way, to say to you, we appreciate the work that you've done and the contributions you've made to the development of this phenomena. That alone just floors you. Because while you're there doing it, you're doing it for the love of doing it. You're not looking for any reward. But when that reward comes, I mean, it just breaks you up.
Yeah, and over the years, unfortunately, we have had two persons who have turned down the awards. So, and of course, once, like I said, you have to accept it. So if you turn down the award, then the next person with the next highest amount of votes will be that person who will take your place. So that is why we try to notify the persons by June, so that we can know if you're going to accept the award or not. So that if you said you're not going to accept it, and once you say you're not going to accept it, we move on to the next person. The minute you say no, I am not accepting it, we move on to the next person right away.
Wow.
So even if you call us back and say, "Oh, I changed my mind,"
Too late.
you have to go back in the pot.
Oh boy.
Next time.
Oh boy.
So it's not a thing where we trying to slight anybody. Like I said,
yeah,
we don't have no grudge, no personal grudge towards anybody.
Yeah,
so
but
once you get your information, you go in the pool, and everybody don't come at the pool at the same time. It's just like the Basketball Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, other Hall of Fames around the world, music, acting, whatever. It's the same simple process that we use.
This is good to see also a group of people honoring those from among themselves. This is very it's very thing. Go ahead.
And one thing I want to do, I want to give kudos to the government of the Bahamas for sponsoring this initiative from the year 2000. We give kudos to the government of Bahamas. Every prime minister and government from 2000 has supported the Junkanoo Development Association in this initiative. So we want to give kudos to them.
Les, I know we're gonna have to take a break in a few minutes, but my question is for you being a part of this JDA. There's a lot of people probably sitting home right now thinking, oh, we need to do something for the people in our group or even in our community. You guys formulated yourself without anybody saying you need to do this. You guys came together among yourselves and said, we're going to take this initiative, and you guys moved first, and then you said, okay, as the progress was happening, you contacted the government as to where you wanted this to be placed or whomever. My question is, what gave you all the whole thought process that you guys could do this? That this is something that the Junkanoo organizations or the people from just among the community could do it, and y'all don't need, political interference or somebody with a title telling y'all need to do this. What was the notion behind that?
Well, like I said, our whole thing is that we wanted Junkanoo to be a part of the independence celebration, because it wasn't up until 2000, it wasn't there. Okay. Only time Junkanoo, we had Junkanoo at Labor Day, Foxhill Day, Boxing Day, and New Year's Day. And I think they used to have those summer festivals started yet? I can't remember. Ronald probably could speak to that about if they have Junkanoo Summer Festival before 2000. So, but the main thing, say again?
Goombay Summer Festival was going on.
Right.
There was the presence of Junkanoo in the Goombay Summer Festival.
Right. But what we wanted the general public to participate. Persons who, like we said, might have never rushed on Bay Street on a Boxing Day or New Year's Day. We wanted them to be able to come and, like we say in the Bahamas, shake a leg, let their hair on, and just celebrate us being citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. And like if you ask me this question about the young people, from 2000, I've watched many young people grow up who I saw on their first rush at independence, and now some of them are young adults and they still participating in Junkanoo. And some of them have their own kids now who are maybe they're young, and now they're going to be the ones who can help carry this tradition on, because we started it and we wanted to continue on. We don't want it to turn into a competition rush. We want it to remain a celebratory rush for the purpose of celebrating our independence. We don't want nobody crying, but who get robbed? They rob us on independence. We get robbed Boxing Day. We get robbed New Year's Day. We don't want that. We want independence to be celebratory celebration, the aquamarine, gold and black, Commonwealth of Bahamas, one love, unity, and that's what it's all about, the people's love and unity rush.
And that's very important.
Les, I just want you to know that you are not alone, or you are not alone when you are faced with the question, who tell you could do this,
I know. I know you faced that plenty times in your career.
Well, in the late 1990s, when Fred Munnings and I created Junkanoo in June, I was summoned by the power brokers of Junkanoo, who asked me who I think I am.
There's power brokers in Junkanoo?
Where you been?
Hey, Ronan. Hey, one time when we first started to meet to the JDA, we used to meet in Jackson's, the late great Jackson Burnside office up there on the road, Right. And one time somebody came to the meeting and they had a tape recorder and they put it on the table.
No.
And they asked us, who give us the authority to say that you can start a Junkanoo rush? And they started calling off certain people's names, and they asked, this person a part of it? Is this next person a part of it? And we had to run that person, we was we told them, look here, this ain't about no personality. We ain't into personalities. we are to do something that every Bahamian is free to do. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the Constitution of the Bahamas give every Bahamian
Yeah.
the freedom of association.
See,
So you could choose to associate with the JDA, or you could choose not to. That's your choice. You know, but we don't want the animosity towards you. Even some people who try to destroy the JDA and the People's Rush, we have honored them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Certain
See,
people.
I remember being summoned to a meeting on top of the hill at is that Imperial Life on top of Collins Avenue? Or
Yeah. Yeah, this is the Imperial Life.
Yes, I remember being summoned to a meeting there, and around the table was all the leaders of the various Junkanoo groups who put to me, what you doing creating a Junkanoo festival? Who you think you is?
Yeah.
And I look at them, I say, well, look here. Junkanoo is as much mine as it is yours, and you ain't got no exclusive.
No copyright. No copyright on Junkanoo.
I remember Doyle Burroughs telling me later, because he was present at that meeting. He said, boy, you was rude to them too. How dare they ask me? Like, what you talking about, man?
Hey, Ronald, I'm doing.
Be summoned a lot of places, Ronald.
One year, somebody went to the ministry and collected the check on behalf of the JDA. And it was.
But you survived all of that.
Yeah, we survived all of that.
And now the award is accepted throughout the Junkanoo community. It's a coveted award now.
It's a coveted award.
Yeah. With prestige, man.
Like I say, every day, people stop me, call me, jockeying for somebody to be honored. But like we said, if you don't send in the nominations to nominate them, ain't nothing happening. Up until 10 years, with the 40th anniversary, there's another group of persons who believe Junkanoo belong to them. They was planning their own parade, independence, and thank goodness for Mr. Charles Carter at the time, who was the deputy chairman of the Independence Committee, along with Mr. Jack Thompson.
Yep.
They had intervened in a very serious way.
I remember that.
Yeah, they had intervened in a very serious way, because the people that was plans was already in motion, and they had the air of a certain person in power at the time.
That's right.
They felt like, hey, it was their thing, their time to take over and to do what they wanted to do. But thank goodness that the Prime Minister at the time, Mr. Perry Christie, he stood firm with the JDA, and the rest is history. We're still growing strong. I don't know if it's going to be another attempt. They don't only have attempts to try to keep somebody as the president of the United States, but they also have coup attempt in Junkanoo.
I think you passed that now. I think you passed that
hopefully.
Now. Because...
but you know, we're always ready. We're always vigilant. We're always ready. So whatever comes, we're ready to take it on.
Well, let me ask you one thing. Let me ask you one thing before we go to break. Outside of the award ceremony and the People's Rush, is the JDA involved in any other activities related to the development of Junkanoo?
Well, before time, you know, we used to judge the with the school parades name, the
Junior Junkanoo.
Junior Junkanoo, you know, we judged the Junior Junkanoo, but for 10 years, and then, like, you know, every time government change, you know, they do certain different things. So
different formats.
Yeah, they want to use different people, so we moved away from that. But we haven't been as active as we used to be in the past. But hopefully we're gonna get back, because we get some stuff on the drawing board that we're trying to do, and hopefully once we get the time and dedication. A lot of us right now, you know, you get your family to deal with. You're not as young as you used to be, so we're looking for some younger people to join up with the JDA so that they could take it over and continue to do other stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right, folks, we're gonna run to another break. When we get back, we're gonna unleash the honorees of this year. We'll see you on the next side of the break. You tune in to Junkanoo 242.
The evenings will never be the same again. A show for young people, made by young people. The Youth Perspective, where we seek to positively display the youth of our nation. This and every Saturday at 8 p.m. on 1540 AM. Power 104.5 FM, the national voice of the Bahamas. It's for men, about men, by men. It's informative. It's inspiring. It's here on AM 1540, Power 104.5 FM. With yours truly, Sean Innes, Sundays at 5 p.m. Tune in.
As a result of the recent uptick in violence, domestic violence, school campus violence, and murders in our country, New Providence in particular, ZNS Radio will lead in providing relevant programs and content in collaboration with religious, civic, and governmental groups and organizations that will offer opportunities to view, impact, and possibly reduce the current spate of violence that we are now experiencing.
Our focus will be on finding viable solutions as we are committed to helping our nation
to become a part of the solution.
All that is required for evil to triumph is for good men to see it and do nothing. There's far too many of you die.
Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee. God of glory, Lord of life. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. Ever singing, march we onward, victors in the midst of strife. Joyful music leads us onward in the triumph song of life.
Examples of excellence. They say that behind every good man, there is a woman. But in the New Bahamas, women walk alongside their good men and get a whole lot more accomplished. Dr. Ann Higgins has used her life as a testimony to encourage and inspire hundreds of young women to a positive and productive life. Along with her husband, Pastor Henry Higgins, Dr. Higgins continues to impact Grantstown by the wholesome, disciplined, and nurturing environment created for young people in the Conquerors for Christ Junkanoo Shack that also houses a community center, worship center, and a computer room. She has created several special ministries especially for young women, including the Girls Club. And because of her efforts, young ladies who would not ordinarily imagine going further than Bay Street have had the opportunity to spend special princess weekends at Paradise Island and have traveled to the United States and as far away as China. All of this has been made possible because of the vision and commitment of an outstanding Bahamian, woman of God, and a most supportive husband, Dr. Ann Higgins, this week's inductee into the Junkanoo 242 Shack of Excellence. Welcome back. You're listening to Junkanoo 242. It's the second lap, and we're pleased to have as our special guest Les Robinson from the STEAM Junkanoo Development Association. And we're talking Junkanoo. Junkanoo Independence. The People's Love and Unity Rush is on the calendar. Les, the people have been waiting the whole show. We want to know who getting this jacket this year, man.
Okay, the 5 honorees for this year, based on the nominations that we got in, the few nominations we got in this year, and some of the persons who were still on the old list. on the old list. First one, in no particular order, is Mr. Gerald Lotmore, individual category. Now, Gerald came up through the Saxons. He has been at this Junkanoo thing for many years. I can remember him from I was a little boy in Junkanoo. I could remember him. And also he had his wife, Cheryl Lotmore, who used to participate in Junkanoo. But unfortunately, she passed. The second honoree is Mr. Taran Bapi Davis, one family. You know, he's a young Bahamian guy. I think, I believe Bapi is married to Junkanoo. You know,
Wow.
you know, very talented young man. You know, so he has made the list this year. We have Mr. Gary Super Johnson from the Sting. You know, Sting is a unique Junkanoo group. You know, they're the only group that produce their own music for Junkanoo, their own songs for Junkanoo. You know, every year they produce a new song for Junkanoo. So Mr. Gary Super Johnson. We have Mr. Tyrone Zap Peterson from the Valley Boys, who's been around in Junkanoo for many, many years. And last but not least, Miss Crystal Bodine from the Saxons, Shell Saxon Superstars. So those are the 5 honorees for this year.
That's Mr. Gerald Lotmore, Mr. Taran Bapi Davis, Mr. Gary Super Johnson, and Mr. Tyrone Zap Johnson, and Miss Crystal. Say again?
Tyrone Zap Peterson.
Zap Peterson, and Miss Crystal Bodine.
Yes.
Oh boy, congratulations to these people that will be accepting this prestigious award. I would like to tell everybody, listen, if you know this person, if you're related to this person, grab your banner, grab your pom-poms, meet them in the square and cheer them on as they get, you know, this prestigious award. You heard what Ronald said, what it is to accept, you know, this such award coming from their own, from the Junkanoo community. Be there to celebrate with them, man.
But like I said, those are the 5 for this year. And we want to encourage the general public, if you want somebody to be honored and you think that they're deserving of it, please send in the nomination so that their names can get on the list. And hopefully in the not too distant future, that person will be able to get their honors in Rawson Square under the moonlight and the stars on Independence Morning in the future.
I can tell you one thing. I know them people from Sting will be right there when Super getting his jacket. So y'all better don't get outdo. Y'all groups better show up and support y'all people, and everybody support them and, you know, encourage them as they receive their jacket. Man, it's time to start drawing these numbers, bro.
Yeah, and we're gonna start off with a B category group. We're gonna start off with grade.
I have all the names in here. Let's see who's coming out of B first. Who's gonna be starting the parade? Redland Soldiers. Redland Soldiers. All right.
We go to the A category.
Coming behind them. Let's see who was up first. Got 2 came out. The Saxons will be first.
Whoa.
From the A.
Saxons.
Up next, from the B category, the original Congos. The original Congos. Next up, the Music Makers. Music Makers. Next up, Conquerors for Christ. Conquerors Next up, next, the Valley Boys. Okay. Next up is the Immortals. What we got here? Next up, Roots. Next up, the Mighty Eagles. The Mighty Eagles is a new group in the B category. They'll be pulling up next after Roots. Eagles. Next up, One Family. Next would be the Body of Christ. Body of Christ. Next, this will be Genesis. Last B group is Colors Entertainment. So my listing from the numbers drawn, we have Redland, followed by the Saxon, the Original Congos, the Music Makers, Conquerors for Christ, the Valley Boys, the Immortals, Roots, the Mighty Eagles, One Family, Body of Christ, Genesis, and Colors. That's the list lineup that we have. We'll make sure I have this printed up and have it on the JC's MP's Facebook page and also on the Junkanoo 242 Facebook page. We'll get that lineup out to the public if you missed it, but we definitely will have it out. We'll repeat it before the show is over. We're going to run to our final break and we get our closing reports from the JDA. Find out if they have any new initiatives coming up. We'll be right back. You're tuning in to Junkanoo 242.
You saw Larry take the money off the teacher's desk.
Yes, Mom.
And you told the teacher.
No, Mom.
Why not?
Because Larry wouldn't want to be my friend no more.
Honey, Larry did something wrong and you need to tell an adult. You may feel bad, but it is important that you do the right thing. Nobody has to find out that you told.
Okay.
Small crimes lead to big crimes. If you see a crime, you can call Crime Stoppers. It's safe and easy, and nobody knows who you are. You'll speak directly to someone in Miami or Toronto, Canada. They never ask anything about you. So be brave and do the right thing. We all need to help. Stop the crime before it's our time.
Guess what, Mommy? I feel good because I told somebody about Larry and the teacher get our money back. So pick up the phone. No one will never call you a snitch.
Call Crime Stoppers Bahamas today at 328-8477 or from the Family Islands, 242-300-8477. It's safe, and the life you save may be your own.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Crime Stoppers in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
And now for news off the shack wall. Happy birthday greetings to Janine Evans, Darren Sherman, and Raphael Munnings. To you and to everyone that's celebrating their birthdays in the upcoming week, we wish you a happy and a blessed new year. Condolences goes out to all families that may be grieving the loss of their loved one at this time. We just want you to know that our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers are with you at this time. We want you to get over this time of bereavement as you're going through your loss. We also have a special shout out from Ms. Monique Bethel, the Gizzard Lady. Tonya Store is sending that special shout out for you. And guess what? The JDA, if you haven't been listening to the show, the Junkanoo Development Association, in conjunction with the National Independence Secretariat, invites you and all Junkanoo groups who are all proud Bahamians to celebrate our 49th anniversary of independence beginning at 12:01 on Monday, July 11 in Rawson Square, where 5 outstanding Junkanoos will receive their Independence Achievement Awards. And the people's love and unity rush will begin at East and Bay Street. Wear your flag colors and can be a part of this rush, and let's celebrate our country's independence. I just want to quickly run through the lineup for the Independence: Redland, Saxons, Congos, Music Makers, Conquers for Christ, Valley Boys, Immortal, Roots, Mighty Eagles, One Family, Body of Christ, Genesis, and Colors. Les, before I get your closing remarks, I think one of my final questions to you is, the JDA, are you guys funded in any way? Do you guys have any type of funds? And why I'm asking that is because I see in the near future for you guys, other projects that probably needs to be highlighted in terms of, for instance, documentaries on some of these people that are, being awarded, perhaps even some type of book commemorating all of these biographies. Are you guys getting any type of funding for this JDA association from anywhere?
We get most of our funding from the government, and those projects, of course, we're going to be looking for sponsors to help us produce those projects that we have in the works. And any corporate citizen who are interested in being a part of it, they can email us at jdaawards@yahoo.com. They want to be a part of it, or they could contact myself or any member of the Junkanoo Development Association to be a part of the things that we have planned for the Junkanoo Development Association.
Yeah, this is good. The clarion call, we need our corporate partners and sponsors to step up for a lot of the things that are happening, and this would be a good initiative with the JDA. Documentaries, that could even probably spin off into short series, movies and stuff, because Junkanoo is the unique festival of the world, bar none. And to get these things captured and documented and curated would be such a fitting task for us to do, to keep this thing developing and to keep it moving on. That'd be very good. So Les, what would you like to tell the people, man?
Well, like I said, we are coming up.
Before your final words, do you guys have any upcoming projects that we should look out for? Other than the rush.
Well, like I said, we are working on doing a booklet, commemorative booklet of all the persons who we've honored so far. We already got that in the works. We got some other things that we're not going to announce publicly right now, but we are trying to finalize to see if we're going to get to them or how we could get to them. But like I said, it takes a lot of time, money, and effort. So we have to not bite off more than we could chew.
Okay.
So we are taking it one step at a time. But like I said, we're coming up on our 49th anniversary of independence. And the motto for this year is Proud to be Bahamian, something that Junkanoo 242 enunciates every Saturday. So we just want every Bahamian to continue to be proud to be a Bahamian despite of all the challenges that we have. I think the Bahamas for me is still the best place in the world to live, irrespective of wherever I go. I miss home. I miss being home in the Bahamas on this island of New Providence where I was born and grew. So to me, the Bahamas is still the best place in the world to live. like I said, despite all the challenges, and it take us collectively to work together to try build a positive country. You know, there's a lot of negativity around, even though some people say the Bahamas is not a real place. The Bahamas is a real place. It's the place where God lives. He vacations other places, but he lives in the Bahamas because we are a blessed country. And if you just look around, not only in the island of New Providence, you know, all the Family Islands where there's a lot of peace and tranquility. We are unlike the island of New Providence where we have the majority of the population. And if you look at most countries in the world, big cities, that's where they have the most problems. So we just need our people to be more loving and caring about one another. And that alone will take away, especially some of this senseless crime that we have going on in this country at this present time. If we learn to love one another and appreciate one another more, because if a lot of people really trace their heritage, they'll find out that many of us are family, you know? We may not be one family Junkanoo group, but we are family, you know?
Ain't nothing wrong with being that too.
Ain't nothing wrong with being one family, you know, the guy away. Because, you know, that's the good thing to be. Any Junkanoo group that you are part of is a good thing, especially if you're doing positive things, you know, helping to build the communities that you are part of, helping to build your own family, you know, is a good thing. So I just want to encourage people as we continue to celebrate, as we move into the 49th, and, you know, next year it's going to be the 50th. We just want more of our people to participate and to do things to help out the community, to bring more positivity to whatever small corner that you are in, help to bring some positivity in those areas so that our country could be a much better country. And the aquamarine, gold and black, the most beautiful flag in the whole world. You know, anytime I see, especially when they show the flags outside of the United Nations, I mean, I can pick up the Bahamian flag in a split second because it's the most beautiful flag that flies in the front of the United Nations. So I just thank God that we are part of the nations of the world. And there are many people who clamor to come to our country just by looking at the amount of visitors who continue to come here. Those who want to be here as residents or citizens. We have people sneaking into the country to be a part of the country.
Oh yeah.
Country. I mean, this is a blessed place. So it's only up to us as individuals and collectively to keep our country going in a positive direction. So Independence, well, July 11th, 12 midnight, Rawson Square, the Independence Junkanoo Achievement Awards begins, and immediately falling at 1 a.m. We love the rollover. You know, this is going to be the first time that the late great John Chippy Chipman will not be rolling over the parade for the People's Rush to start, but we're going to have somebody else because the generation, it has to continue. We're going to have somebody else who's going to roll over the parade for us on July 11th in Rawson Square. So we thank you in advance for being on your best behavior and following the health protocols put out by the Ministry of Health.
Yes, folks, I want to tell you, listen, prepare your calendars, make sure that you're there. That People's Love and Unity Rush is going to be another phenomenal event that's going to be hosted. Come out and cheer for the people that will be receiving their jackets this year. Just want to give you their names one more time, the names who is going to be celebrated. Mr. Gerald Lotmore, Mr. Teran Boppy Davis, Mr. Gary Super Johnson, Mr. Tyrone Peterson, and Miss Krista Bodine will be getting their jackets from the JDA this year. I want to send a special note. There's a lot of events that are happening. Just want people to follow the protocols, you know, govern yourself accordingly. Today starts Junkanoo Summer Fest on Araki. It is July the 2nd, and the groups that will be participating are the Conquerors for Christ, Body of Christ, Music Makers, and One Family. The rush time starts at 5:45. Listen, you want to be there, come out, watch the production that's going to be happening. We are getting culture back in the summer, trying to get this COVID out of our country and get things back to normal. Folks, the countdown, it is Saturday, July the 2nd, 2022. We are 25 hopeful weeks away from Bay. We are 7 days away from independence. Before we go, Ronald, do you have any closing remarks for us?
Well, I think it's going to be an exciting week coming up with the independence activities coming up. Junkanoo Summer Festival beginning today. And of course, the big night on next Sunday night with the awarding and draping of those jackets on the recipients of the JDA's award. And of course, the People's Rush. It's
Oh
big
man,
Junkanoo back, boy. Big Junkanoo back.
big time.
Big
Yes.
time.
One more thing is that the beat retreat is tomorrow in Rawson Square. Come out,
Yeah.
watch our armed forces perform. Bring the kids out. Come, let's usher in independence in grand style. You get to celebrate from Saturday straight, even up until independence. Folks, this is Junkanoo 242.
Just before you go, that beat retreat is scheduled for 5 o'clock start time, but they're asking people to be seated by the latest 4:45, please.
Oh yeah.
So that
Yeah.
the governor general and the official party can be received in time.
Yes, just need this weather to cooperate and we can see everything happen in grand style, man. This has been Junkanoo 242, where it's all about us and you in the 242. Until we speak to you next time, let everything that you do show that we are all proud to be Bahamian. We'll see you next week.